All right, I think we are live. Can you all see me okay? Can I get some comments? Those of you tuning in, checking the sound. Can you hear me okay? Hopefully no issues this time. Okay, sounds good. Om Lokaha Samastaha Sukhi no Bhavantu. May all beings be happy and peaceful. Phoenix here. Welcome to my live stream. Today is Friday, December 2nd. We're going to take a look at the markets, and I really appreciate all of you tuning in, supporting the channel, supporting these lives. It's fun for me. If you could, when you get a chance, maybe like the video. That does help to show it to more people, at least my subscribers. So this MEXC deal that's going on right now, they've renewed it. So you get all kinds of bonuses if you deposit using my referral link. I think you get $500 for depositing 20K. Get $300 just for depositing 10K. Good deal. And then you can join my C3 community. Just make a deposit and DM me on Twitter, and you get to see my trades. Currently underwater with a couple of short positions on some alts, but we'll see how that plays out in the next few hours here. Keystone Wallet is definitely next level wallet. If you want to check that out, they're not paying me for this, but of course I do get some if you make a purchase with them. But you can save 35% on this wallet right now. That's why I'm really plugging this. It's a good deal. So let's dive into the charts and start with. I want to start with the S&P 500. This really looks like it wants to come down to me, and notice this trend line here very much has obeyed it in the last couple of days. And also we see this level here. So there's some confluence. This is a mid level here. This is a mid range between the 2022 open and the 2022 low. And so we're seeing some resistance, at least initially, but this daily candle actually could be indicative of more upside headed into next week, because we see the strong rejection, but now the rejection of the sell-off. So the retest of the range here and now pushing back up again. So this could be potentially bullish headed into the weekend for cryptocurrency. We shall see. But initially we're seeing an impulse move here. And if I drop down to the hourly time frame, it's hard to say, because it could be retesting this swing low here. If we get a failure here, breakdown in the next couple of hours, but could push all the way back up again and retest once again. So a little bit of indecision there. The Dixie was up and now it's down. I'm not sure what happened there, but now it's back below this weekly level that I had labeled. So this also could be some added confluence. That candle is very telling right there. So we could actually see more downside for the Dixie, which, yeah, would be positive for crypto. Bitcoin has been sort of hovering around this 17K level for what feels like a few days now. And the market structure is still intact. So I think I might have been a little bit premature shorting some of these alts. I shorted BNB and Atom. I'll share those with you in a moment here. But the reason is because Bitcoin really hasn't moved much over the last couple of days after this big run up. You would expect, normally we see a pullback at least to the EMAs here, which actually it has done that. It did pull back to the 21 EMA. So could be more upside. Could be more upside. We'll see if it can break through. This was a couple weeks ago, this high here. If it breaks through this range though, and we get above the 17,150 level, then next targets, at least for me, would be up at around 18,300, which is a very obvious supply zone. But then there is also an inefficiency that it may move up into that zone as well, and that would put us up at around 19K. So this move up could be sustained, and there's nothing really showing that it wants to come down. We might also see a nice little fake out. It might come down, make a quick drop, 16.5, 16.6, and then push up from there. Ethereum's actually, it was stronger than Bitcoin, but now it's starting to show, ooh, actually it's breaking out above this. So this is ETH BTC I'm looking at right now. And I think that it wants to break out. I think that it wants to actually break up and start to move up a lot quicker than Bitcoin. So it could sustain all the way back up to this resistance level up here. So we broke above the trend line. We found support, retested, and then broke back above with strength, then consolidated, did not break down from there. And you can see that it's been, whenever I look at and I see on a chart, this is why I use the 12 and the 21 EMAs. Whenever I see it's really staying it's staying above the 12, it hasn't even penetrated into this band here, that's a sign of strength on any chart. And so Ethereum actually could push up pretty fierce here in the coming hours. Actually, the more that I look at these charts, I need to cut these trades because this is not going to work out in my favor here. So we're doing a little bit of live trading here. And this just happened like right before I was ready to go live. It started to really pump. So yeah, I'm gonna have to cut my losses on this. I don't like this. I don't like the look at this. I'm gonna have to look. Let me see here. Yeah, Ethereum's, we're getting some positive delta coming in here for Ethereum. Pretty strong. Tough call. Because here, looking at BNB, I mean, this is where it gets tricky with trading cryptocurrency. Let me pause to take a sip here and think about this for a minute. This is tricky because this chart looks like it wants to head south. This is BNB on the hourly, and it really does look like it wants to head south. A lot of strong indications of that. But it's just so stubborn. It's just been so stubborn. We had the breakdown, we had the retest, and then this candle probably should have been a tell for me, because you would want to see a bearish engulfing. You'd want to see something that really, I mean, it did come down pretty far, but then you see that rejection wick there. And that's not exactly a bullish sign. But then taken within the larger context, the rest of the market, yeah, it looks like it wants to push up. And Adam is being stubborn too. Damn it, Adam. Okay, I'm going to cut this trade. I don't like this. Oh, taking the L, you know, it's like one of those things. Taking it live here, first time taking a loss live. You know, I tried adding to Adam. I thought that maybe I could average. You know, averaging down is never a good idea, and I hardly ever do it. But in this case, it looked like this candle here, it looked like it wanted to really continue to break down. So Adam, the reason I took the short was because this appeared to be one big deviation, and broke down, came back above, retested this level here, this swing low here, and then broke down again. But we never got a full breakdown candle. So we never got a commit there with an hourly close that was really strong bearish candle. And so I was a bit premature in that trade. And it's good that I'm actually live because it makes me more accountable. It's good that I share all my trades. I'm gonna have to mention this to the group for those that maybe aren't paying attention, because yeah, because it's about accountability, and it was really hard to say with this trade because it hadn't exactly disproved my thesis, but this is the third time now that it's coming back up and retesting this level. I had my stops above here. And so chances are, especially if we see a push up here with Ethereum, which Ethereum is not showing that it wants to slow down, it's just alts are just going to be, they're going to continue on they're going to continue at the very least to be choppy, kind of pushing up quickly, and then maybe we get some pretty crazy wicks on those. So Ethereum, you can see it's obeying this trend line here, and we are at a significant weekly level, which I think it might break through here. It was looking a little bit like a head and shoulders pattern, and it was kind of stumbling around here, and so I did exit my longs. And yeah, it needs to break above. It needs to break above and show some strength, and then we're looking at next resistance isn't really that high up for Ethereum. It's at around 1325. That's the mid of this zone here, which is a supply zone before it became a resistance level. Okay, so this supply zone then turned into a resistance level. So will it hold a second time? We haven't tested it just yet, but we shall see. Then from there, similar to Bitcoin, you have a whole gap here, an inefficiency all the way up to around 1420. Actually, it goes higher than that, but 1420 would be the next level that I'd be looking to maybe take profits if I were longing Ethereum. So I am leaning toward the more upside, but it's going to be tricky. We're going to have to see how the next couple of hours plays out, because unless we get a really strong move in the next couple of hours, then we'll see. Weekends have been a little bit. Last weekend there was actually more activity than usual, but typically, at least for the past several months now, we've seen what happens when we hit Friday, a couple of hours after the stocks close. Usually everything just flatlines, and there's not really any clarity. And that's the issue with getting into a position right now. But we did just see a monthly close. We didn't exactly have a bullish close in the stock market. But the Dixie's still down. Actually, it's heading further south now as we speak. So yeah, I don't know why. It's like you got to be careful with alts in these situations, because even though it should, for all intents and purposes, BNB should break down here, and there's a long way to fall here, but because of Ethereum, that's why it hasn't yet. Because of Bitcoin, because Bitcoin hasn't budged, Ethereum hasn't budged. They haven't really fallen yet. So that's where it gets a little tricky trading crypto, because it's just there's so many different factors. You've got to pay attention to multiple charts. It's not a completely independent entity yet. Eventually it will be, but we're not there yet. Maybe even 5 years down the line for that to happen. So let's take a look at Dogecoin for a moment here. I was eyeing up a potential. See, this also looks like, if this was any other, if I was just trading Doge by itself, I would probably be looking to short this here. But because of all of this, you can see this level here it was support on multiple occasions. We had the deviation back above and then broke below, and now it tried to retest, but there's some weakness showing up now for Dogecoin. So I definitely would not long Doge personally, also because it's not far from a pretty key supply zone here. It may push up, who knows, but it's looking rather toppy to me. It looks like it wants to come down, but Doge has been really tricky to trade this last week or so. I think I did profit from some longs last week, but tried to short it here, didn't work out, and then sort of just watched it do its thing. It sucks. It's like most of my gains this week were from Ethereum, and actually Ethereum and Bitcoin, I think, but I had some pretty good trades, but then gave back some of that to alts, to just the crappy alts chopping around. I mean, look at Atom. I don't want to trade this. I'm going to take a break from Atom because this is garbage. This is total garbage, and maybe it comes back up. Maybe it comes up back all the way to 1050, 1060. But this isn't a place to, trade this. I tried to short it and it hit that wick and then just immediate rejection there. So, but you know, that's how it goes when you're trading altcoins. Link has actually been fairly consistent as far as just making slow, steady moves up. And so this one, I've been appreciating this chart, but then Link also has a history of a lot of volatility, and you see what happened here. And now it's been slowly creeping back up again. It's making its way all the way back up to the top of this range, and will likely end up there, but this is a no trade zone for me. So I have very clear rules about what I am and am not willing to trade. And even if it does look bullish, I'm not going to trade it here because the upside is limited and there's an equal amount of potential downside, and there's really no way to know for sure. So I'm not going to trade Link here, but it does look like it wants to push up higher from here. Solana has been pretty weak in general. Every time I think that it's going to really push up, it just doesn't. And again, like if this was if it was just by itself, I'd probably be looking to short it. But I was expecting a little bit more from Solana. I was expecting that it was going to really start to at least try to push back up to this level, this 1880 level, because if you see this extent of this move down, it is so oversold after the FTT. But I think so many people are just in fear right now about this and don't fully understand that like Solana is an independent blockchain, and you know, but it's just that the contagion is strong. It's just everyone, you know, anything that's associated with SBF right now has just taken a massive hit. And so I guess it's not really tradable. I was hoping for some more volatility, but this isn't, I wouldn't short this because of how far down it's gone, but I'm also not seeing any signs that it wants to really push up until we get back in here at the very least. Actually, I did take a long right here, and then it pushed up to the mid and then was immediately rejected and came back all the way back down to here. Okay, so we're in a range here. We haven't even pushed back up and made it back to this 1460 level in this range. So I don't want to trade Solana. And Litecoin's been equally choppy. Looked for a little bit like it wanted to break down, took a short position somewhere over here, but then got back above. Is this even the chart that I was looking at? Where are all my drawings? It got back above here, back into this range, but we're very much range bound with Litecoin as well. And this isn't tradable to me. I don't want to trade that. So any others? What do you guys think? What do you guys think is going to happen this weekend? Are we going to see some actual price action? Are we going to see some moves here? Are a whole bunch of people going to suddenly flock back into crypto and make it exciting again? Or is it just, am I just going to be talking to crickets here? Just me and the birds here. AVAX, you know, maybe it breaks above. Maybe this is just weak. I don't know. Could be an area of interest here for AVAX. I haven't charted this one, to be honest. But yeah, if it breaks above here, shows us some strength, then maybe a long. I definitely wouldn't short this here unless we saw Ethereum really break down, but potentially a long here for AVAX with initial targets. I would initially target 1407, and then I'd be looking at maybe 1557 if I were to take a long on that. Phantom, wasn't there some, yeah, there was a big move up for Phantom. Broke out of this range here, this weekly range, and now we're looking at another weekly level up here. Can it find support here? It looks like it wants to. It looks like it wants to find some support before maybe making another move up. But again, I wouldn't long this because of this. Okay, I'd be more looking for short. So just thinking about, has the bulk of this move already happened? Quite possibly for Phantom. And so I'm not going to long it. I'd be looking to short it maybe up here, or I'd be waiting to see if it breaks down to here and see how it interacts. Here I would consider a long if we broke all the way down. We broke down to here, showed a little bit of strength here, and then tried to push up again. I might long it. Depends on what the rest of the market does. I haven't looked at Shiba Inu in a while. Yeah, it's crap. No thanks. I don't want to trade that. One other chart that I was watching for a while was Aptos, because and it's breaking out of this level here. That's interesting. Aptos could run here. It could run up. There is this is a maybe for a long. So this will be on my radar here. But I'm hesitant to long any alts, like especially the lower cap alts on headed into a weekend. But Ethereum, yeah, still. If we look at this from a daily perspective, does this look bearish or bullish to you? What do you guys think? Does this look bearish or bullish to you? I need to delete that. I wish there was a way to hide alerts so they're not actually visible to you, TradingView. I hope you're paying attention to this, because I want to not see them. I already know I've placed the alert. It's your job to let me know when it hit that level. I don't want to see the dotted orange line, or at the very least, let me change the style of the line. Okay. So to me, it looks like this is a natural pause here, this red candle after these two big green candles, right? Just breaking it down to the very basics here. Two strong green candles breaking into this weekly range, temporarily broke above, but then we had a little bit of a pullback, but now it's obeying here and it's starting to push, it's trying to push back up again. So potentially more upside here. I'm leaning towards bullish. Yeah, it looks like it wants to fill this gap, at least some of it. Yesterday, I felt I had a bad feeling. I pulled out and it did drop, but then it started to slowly creep back up again. And so, and you know, price is fractal. We look at it from different time frames, and we see, you know, where are we on the weekly? Where are we on the daily? From a weekly perspective, after a big sell-off here, now we're back above this support level here. Okay, we're sort of retesting that, and you see what happened here after this big red candle. Okay, here's another equally large big red candle. So chances are, I mean, the probability, especially with what we've seen in the stocks in the last couple of weeks, the probability is that it pushes back up at least to the middle of this candle, right? Because that's what we saw here. A little bit higher than that, actually, if you include the wick. But the bulk of the trading the volume is in the body of the candle. So, but I would say 1400 minimum. 1420 would be what I would be targeting if I took a long. And what would be, let's just do the setup for this, because it might happen in the next hour or two. Who knows? You know, if you're taking an aggressive entry, well, you'd be looking to get in at the break of this trend line here. Okay. You'd be looking to get in. Maybe it comes up and retests, and then we see some strength. But also there's some confluence here with this weekly level at 1290. So if it shows some strength here, then taking a long could be happening sooner than later. But if we don't see strength in the next couple of hours, then the assumption at least is that we see more chop. But we see that this triangle here is wanting to break out. It might, and if it breaks out to the upside, that seems to be the likelihood, especially when you consider what Bitcoin has done. Okay, it did come back down here, but it's not, we didn't get a big strong follow through after this candle here. This was one of the larger hourly red candles. So I thought, well, that's interesting. But you see the rejection wick, and then you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the 7th candle now where it's just slowly, gradually pushing up. And what we saw here, this happened in 5 minutes, I believe, where we saw just a tremendous volume, a lot of delta, a lot of longs opening up here all at once. So it seems like the whales are just sort of steering the course here, and then we might have another God candle just appear out of nowhere. That seems to be the pattern these days. And delta is slowly on the increase right now. So December full moon, December 7th, yeah. Well, when is that? Is that the end of next week? Somewhere next week. I don't know. Sometimes the moons, I'm drinking celery juice right now. Sometimes the moons, it's so bitter. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. I don't, I pay some attention to it because it does have some sway, but it's not always 100% accurate. So we don't know for sure. But I think that I don't know how much further the stocks can push up. But see, look at what just happened here. It's happening right now. It's pushing up again. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this, but it seems like it wants to push higher. And if it does that, then we're looking at 4170 as a next monthly level. And then from there, if it gets back in this range here, we're eyeing 4300. Okay. If it breaks above there, then we have to reevaluate whether we're still in a bear market. Okay. But maybe it does that and just gets a whole lot of retailers sucked in and then they crush it. Who knows? We'll see. But still leaning bullish as of the last couple of hours. Alts are just kind of being a little boring right now. I want to take a look at Matic here for a minute. Matic, I did take a nice long. I profited. That was my only profitable alt this week, is except for Ethereum and Bitcoin, I believe, and might have had one other. But this one I took profits here. It did push up to my ultimate take profit level, which was here. So I ended this trade a little bit sooner than I should have. But now it's consolidating, but it's not really breaking down, surprisingly. So if it gets back above here, then where's the next target for Matic? That would be around $1, $1.02. Okay, and that's the top of this range here, this monthly range. What happened to all my drawings? My charts are loading a little bit slower today for some reason. Yeah, so next target, I'd actually probably target around 97 cents first, the midpoint between these two. It's also a resistance zone here. And then I'd be targeting $1.02. It's hard to believe that Matic is coming back up after all of this. This is what makes me a little bit wary because we see, huge sell-off, bounced almost all the way back up again, another sell-off. It's just been zigzagging along, and now we're getting sort of like the aftershocks from that. It's kind of like when you're out surfing and there's a set of waves and you'll get like, the first couple in that set can be just massive, and then the ones that come after the set, it'll sort of start to settle a bit. So I'm still skeptical that Matic is going to push all the way back up to $1.02. I could be wrong. Matic has had a whole slew of positive news come out in the last couple of weeks. So I don't know what Mask is. I don't really know anything about it. Does it have a chart? I will look at it. I'm going to, okay, I did pull this up the other day. Okay, from a TA perspective, let me just look at this from another angle here. Yeah, that's very interesting. Okay, so I would actually be bullish on this from a daily. I mean, if we get a close here anywhere below like 360, then I'd be bearish. I'd be shorting it probably down to the mid and then the bottom here, because this would basically be the completion of an evening star. This is a very obvious evening star. You see the doji here and then the green candle and the red candle. So at that point, but we're actually, what it's showing on the lower time frames right now is it showed a breakout above and then a retest and then this wick here. So I might consider a long position with mask because it looks like it wants to head higher and there's a whole lot of room for it to run here. Maybe targeting somewhere in here, 480. And that's a pretty good play right there. Let's just hypothetically do a long position. Where would I be? You know, if you want to have a hard stop somewhere beneath, breaks back in here, it's a 5%. And then you're targeting. Oh, that's a big move. That's a potentially a big move for mask. You could target the top of this level here. That's still a 2.5 R almost. It could be your first take profit, and then second take profit would be somewhere up here. Looks like this one's a mover. What is mask? Can anyone explain to me what mask is? I'm gonna look it up here because I have never even heard of it. Which usually I at least hear about them. Mask Network. I'm actually putting together my DeFi Holy Grail report. Basically, I'm determining what I'm going to be investing in the next bull run, before the next bull run. And I'm going to basically weight them by how much I'm putting in each. And I probably will have maybe 5 to 10 maximum. And I'll be putting a pretty good chunk of money in each one. But some of them will get a lot more than others. So, but I'm doing my research right now. And I'm going to put together that report and I'm going to offer it up. It's not going to be free. I'm not going to just, post it on YouTube because people don't value it. Some people do, but most people don't. It's going to be a paid thing, but it won't cost that much. It'll be fairly inexpensive considering I'm basically sharing with you my investments. And I know how to do my homework. I know DeFi pretty well. So mask, what is it? I can get it on XC and BitGet. It's not listed on major exchanges. I like it if they can give a description on CoinGecko. They don't have any. Okay, the open internet. What does that mean? Hide your content. Okay. Initial Twitter offering. That's interesting. Built-in social trading tools. This looks like a template website. Shop at social. Start and take part in giveaways. Sounds like they're trying to do a lot of things simultaneously. Binance. Interesting. Okay. I'll keep it on the radar. We'll see. But short term, I'm bullish on mask. And maybe I'll take a trade here. Can I trade this on MEXC? Let's find out. Because that last hourly candle was basically the confirmation, or at least the initial confirmation of more. Oh, they do have it. Interesting. Okay, well, let's see. See, this is the benefit of doing live streams. I get to look at charts that I wouldn't normally look at. So I'm actually I think I'm gonna head off here if I don't get any questions here in the next couple of minutes. And I want to focus on the charts and maybe see. So I'm just gonna tell you right off the bat, I'm just looking mainly at Ethereum right now. I'm not I'm wary on the alts because they look weak, but there's pumping within that weakness. I don't know. It just they look like they've seen pretty good run already. I'd be looking to really focus my energies on Ethereum. If it breaks out of this triangle here and shows some strength, and also because of what the ETH BTC chart is doing. So just to clarify here, not saying Bitcoin is not going to go up, because it does look like it wants to also continue to rise, but I think there's more upside for Ethereum. So yep, that's all I got for you today. I hope that you all have a beautiful weekend. And again, if you want to really interact with me, the best way to do that is on my Discord, where I do hop in the different channels, and I have some private channels where I post a lot of information in there. But in order to join that, I do request that you sign up with МXC and make a deposit. That's it. Very straightforward. Does support me. It supports my work as a content creator, which it hasn't been easy for content creators if that's your main source of income. Which, I mean, it's not for me. Trading is my main source of income, but it just every little bit helps, right? And we're you know, if I can get some off the fees that you would normally pay to the exchange, then that's really great. That really helps me. So trying to spread the good energy as much as possible, and trusting that it will come back to me in some form or another. So have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you on Monday.